can see that it is divided into 4 parts. First one is the summary of the story. Second one is think about it. Third one is talk about it. And at last we have the suggested reading activity. Before going into the summary of the story, let's have a look at the learning objectives of the lesson. By the end of the lesson, you will be able to explain the main theme of the story, that is, the importance of avoiding foolish people and dealing with them wisely. Describe the characters and their actions in the story. Recognize the cultural significance of the story as a famous Kannada folktale adapted from A.K. Ramanujan's Folk Tales from India. Summarize the plot of the story in your own words. State the moral lesson conveyed by the story, that is, to use wisdom when dealing with foolish people. Express your personal opinion on the story and the characters. Analyze the impact of story on your thinking and behavior. Students, I have an important note for you. The lesson is basically taught for the understanding of the story. The supplementary reader is particularly prescribed to enhance your reading skill. Read the lesson, try to understand it, and answer the questions given at the end of the lesson. Before going into the lesson, let's know more about our author A.K. Ramanujan. Our lesson in the Kingdom of Fools is taken from the book Folk Tales from India written by A.K. Ramanujan. Attipathe Krishnaswamy Ramanujan was born in Mysore. He was an Indian poet and scholar of Indian literature and linguistics. Ramanujan was also a professor of linguistics at University of Chicago. He is a very versatile person. He is a poet, a scholar, a linguist, a philologist, a folklorist, a translator, and a playwright too. Ramanujan has been highly praised for his craftsmanship. Among all the literary contributions of A.K. Ramanujan, his books, The Interior Landscape and Folk Tales from India are most popular. Students, get ready with your textbooks and we'll proceed to the model reading of the lesson. Students, open the lesson in the Kingdom of Fools, look into the first paragraph and read along with me. In the Kingdom of Fools, both the king and the minister were idiots. They didn't want to run things like other kings. So, they decided to change night into day and day into night. They ordered that everyone should be awake at night, till their fields and run their businesses only after dark, and go to bed as soon as the sun came up. Anyone who disobeyed would be punished with death. The people did as they were told for the fear of death. The king and the minister were delighted at the success of their project. After reading the first para of the lesson, the story seems to be very interesting, right children? Now let's move on to the summary of the story. In the summary of the story, let's first know about the important characters of the lesson. First, let's know about the troublemakers in the story, the king and the minister. Both were idiots and they belonged to the kingdom of fools. They did not want to run things like other things. They wanted to be something special. They wanted to do something special. So what did they do? They decided to change the night into day and day into night. How? How did they change? They ordered people that people, including cattle, should sleep all the day and they should carry on with their businesses only at the night times. And fearing the king's punishment, people also started obeying the king and following his new rule. The next important character would be the character of Guru. He is the only wise person in this whole story of fools. Once he visited this kingdom of fools with his disciple. When they reached there, it was daytime and they were surprised to see the whole kingdom, including cattle, were asleep. They wandered about and slowly day became into evening. Suddenly, people woke up and started tilling their fields, going on with their businesses. This was really a very surprising thing they have observed in the kingdom. When it was evening and when the whole kingdom woke up, the disciple and the guru visited the shops and they were shocked to see all the items costed only a duddu. Means the ghee, the bananas or any item, they did not have any difference of the price. Everything costed only a duddu. This was the second surprising point they found out in the kingdom. Immediately the guru realized, oh, this is the kingdom of fools. So he said to disciple that they should leave the kingdom immediately. Fools are highly unpredictable people and they may behave however they want and these two people may end in trouble. The next important and very interesting character would be the character of the disciple. See, this disciple was not as wise as Guru. You may consider him to be a slightly foolish person. So when he found out that in the kingdom of fools, all the food was very cheap, so he became very greedy. Because basically the disciple was a foodie, means he was fond of food. So he did not listen to Guru's advice. The Guru left the kingdom, but disciple stayed back in the kingdom. He ate all the delicious food available in the kingdom, ghee, bananas, rice and everything which was available at a cheaper rates. Eventually, he grew fat like a street side sacred bull. Now everything was going very fine in the kingdom. There came a problem. One day what happened is a thief broke into a merchant's house. Now that means he went to merchant's house to do some robbery. And while he was coming back out of a hole in the wall, suddenly the wall collapsed and the thief died. Then what happened? The thief's brother, he went and complained to the king that the merchant, who was the owner of the house, was responsible for the death of his brother. He demanded justice and asked the king to punish the merchant. The trial for the death of the thief started. The king summoned the merchant immediately and he said, "You are responsible for the death of the thief. It was your house, it was your wall that has fallen on the thief. So you are the culprit." And the king announced the punishment that the merchant has to be put to death. The merchant started pleading the king Oh, my dear Majesty, please pardon me. The house is mine, the wall is mine, but it was not built by me. It was built by the bricklayer. He did not build the wall properly. That's why the wall has fallen on the thief. So, indirectly, the bricklayer is the person responsible for the death of the thief. Now, the king thought and he shifted his judgment to the bricklayer. The bricklayer was summoned immediately in the court. When the bricklayer arrived in the king's court and listened to the judgment of the king, he got very scared. He said to king, "Oh, my dear Majesty, I am not the culprit. I was disturbed. That's why I have built the wall very weak." That day what happened is a dancer girl was moving up and down the street and I got terribly disturbed by the jingling sound of her anklets. So, I am not the culprit. The person who was responsible for the death of the thief is the dancer girl. Now, the king thought, yes, the answer of the bricklayer seemed to be appropriate. Now, the judgment was given to the dancer girl. The dancer girl reached the court of the king and came to know about her punishment. She recalled the day that she has given an order of ornaments to a goldsmith and her order got delayed. So she had to move about the street many times, disturbing the bricklayer. Now she told that the real culprit would be the goldsmith, not her. The king thought for a few moments and he found the answer of the dancer girl correct. So he announced punishment to the goldsmith. When the goldsmith was summoned in the king's court, he recalled the day and told that he had an urgent and important order of a rich merchant. So he had to delay the order of the dancer girl. Who was that rich merchant? The rich merchant was none other than the father of the merchant whose wall had killed the thief. So the entire trial reached the merchant at the end. Now it was time for the judgment. The king told the merchant, "See, you have inherited the riches of your father. In the same way, you have to inherit his sins too. Since your father is not alive, you are the person who has to bear the punishment in place of him." So he announced the judgment that the merchant should be put to death. The king ordered to get ready a new stake for the execution of the merchant. Immediately the stake was made and it was brought to the king's court. But when they observed it, they found that the merchant was too thin to be executed on the stake. Now what should be done? Someone should be executed because the stake was ready. So the king ordered, "Come on, go into the kingdom and find a fat man who is fit enough to be executed on the stake." The soldiers roamed about in the kingdom looking for a fat man, and at last they reached the disciple. You remember the disciple who has grown very fat like a street side sacred bull, feasting on all the cheap food available in the kingdom. He was brought to the king's court and the king found him appropriate and announced the punishment that he has to be executed on the new stake. The disciple shook with fear and he recalled the Guru's words that it was always dangerous to be with fools. Then he prayed Guru to come and rescue him from death. Guru saw in his vision that his disciple was in problem. So he immediately reached the kingdom and came to know about the punishment which was announced to his disciple. The Guru and the disciple made a secret plan to escape from the punishment. They started arguing in front of the king that they should be put to death first. They both wanted to die first on the stake. The king was puzzled to see Guru and disciple competing to die on the stake. So he asked Guru, "Why do you want to die on the stake?" Then the Guru answered, "See, this is a new stake and this is the God of justice. The first person who dies on the stake will be reborn as the king and the second one will be reborn as the minister. See, we have lived our monk life and now we want to become the king and minister of this kingdom. So we wish to die on the stake." Now the king was deeply immersed on the thought. He thought the king didn't want to lose his kingdom to someone in his next life also. Then he wanted to have some time, so he postponed the execution for the next day. The king told the executioners that he would be sending the criminals to them at night and they should execute them immediately without any second thought. That night, the king and the minister secretly went to the prison and released the Guru and the disciple. The king and the minister disguised themselves as Guru and disciples and reached the executioners. The executioners also taught them to be the Guru and disciple and executed them immediately on the stake. When the bodies were taken down, the people were shocked to see that their own king and minister had died in the place of Guru and disciple. All the people mourned over the death of the king and the minister. Some people started discussing that the kingdom needed a new king and who should be the future king of the kingdom. People looked around to find a new king for their kingdom. Some people thought that Guru would be the right person to become the king. So they pleaded Guru and convinced him to become the next king of their kingdom. Eventually, the disciple became the new minister of the kingdom. The new king and minister changed the old laws. Night would again be night and day would again be day, and you could get nothing for a duddu. It became like any other place. Now I don't want to call it the kingdom of fools, because now the minister and the king were wise people. Would you still call it a kingdom of fools? Now let's look into the glossary section of the lesson. Children, let's look at meanings of some of the words which we find in our lesson. The first one is duddu. Duddu is nothing but currency. Like we have coins, 5 rupee coin, 10 rupee coin. It is a coin, it's a currency in the Kannada language. In Kannada language, we call it as duddu. The next word is astonished. Astonished means what? Surprised. Like you see something very new or strange, you get surprised. That is the surprised. Next word is till. Till means the farmers plow the fields, they put fertilizers, they put the seeds and all this. All these works come under till. And the next word is jingling. You know, if you listen to some metallic bells or anklet sound, that metallic sound like ringing tongue sound, that is called as jingling. Next word is postpone. I think you know what is meant by postpone. You put off the things. Okay, I'll do it later. You just postpone the things. That is called as postpone. Next one is bailiffs. These are the officers who sit in the court and see everything is getting done correct. They are the law officers. They are called as bailiffs. The next word is vision. Means it's like a dream thing. You see something happening somewhere in your dreams. That is called as a vision. And next word is mourned. It's called mourned. Means you feel sorrow or sad on death of some people. You feel bad, right? That is called as mourned. Next one is impaling. To kill someone by fixing onto the stake. You can see the picture and understand it. The next one is culprit. A person who has done something wrong or he has committed some crime, such person is called as a culprit. Here comes the important word of our lesson, stake. It's a very sharp pointed wooden post that is used to penetrate to something. It was used to execute people in olden days. You can see the picture here, or you can see the impaling picture in the previous slide and understand its meaning. Children, now we have come to the end of the story. In the next slide, you will be moving to the assessment part. See you there. Children, hope you have understood the lesson very well. Now, let's answer some questions. I want you to read the question and all the given options thoroughly and then answer the questions. Let's go. The first question is, why did the disciple want to live in the kingdom? A. To enjoy cheap food. B. He liked fools in the kingdom. C. Guru wanted to stay back. D. All the above. Think carefully and answer the question. Yes, the correct answer is to enjoy the cheap food. Now, let's see what is the second question. Who was blamed first for the death of the thief? A. The dancer. B. The merchant. C. The goldsmith. D. The bricklayer. Come on, start thinking and give me the answer. The answer is the merchant. Good going, children. Come on, next let's see the third question. The bricklayer said that he couldn't build the wall right because A. The dancer girl kept talking to him all day. B. The dancer girl kept looking at him all day. C. The dancer's anklets jingling sound disturbed him. D. The dancer girl danced all day. Come on, answer the question. Think about it carefully and answer the question. Yes, the correct answer would be option C. The dancer's girl's jingling anklet sound disturbed the bricklayer. Very well done, children. Let's move to the next question. Hope you are all enjoying this assessment part, children. Now let's see the fourth question. It was decided to hang the disciple in the place of merchant because A. He was the real culprit. B. He didn't follow the Guru's advice. C. He was living in the kingdom illegally. And the D. He was fat enough to fit the stake. Come on, children, start thinking. Did you get the right answer? The right answer is D. He was fat enough to fit the stake. Students, I am very happy that you are answering all the questions right. Now, let's come to the last question of the assessment. Who was made the new king? Who? A. The king's son. B. The guru. C. The minister's son. D. The merchant's son. Come on, start thinking. I hope you got your answer right. The answer is B. The guru. Yes, children, this is the end of the assessment. In next part, we will see some questions in the Think About It activity. See you there. Next, we come to the activity Think About It. In this, some questions are given which you have to think and answer them. First one is, what are the two strange things the guru and his disciple find in the kingdom of fools? Okay. The second one would be, why does the disciple decide to stay in the kingdom of fools? Is it a good idea? The third question is, name all the people who are tried in the king's court and give the reasons for their trial. Question number 4 is, who is the real culprit according to the king? Why does he escape the punishment? Question number 5. What are the guru's words of wisdom? When does the disciple remember them? Question number 6 is, how does the guru managed to save his disciple's life. Now let's come to the talk about it activity. You know Shakespeare has written many plays. In his plays, the people who play fools, they are not really foolish. If you have read his plays As You Like It, Twelfth Night or King Lear, if you know any roles in them, you can talk about this role with your friends. If you know any stories in your local languages, like the stories of Tenali Rama or the stories of Akbar and Birbal, or books written by local authors like Gopal Bhar, you can share the characters or roles, how they are, how they behave with your friends, and you can have some fun with your friends. Students, you have enjoyed the story In the Kingdom of Fools. There are some more books you have to read to know about such stories. The first one would be the Folktales from India. It is a selection of oral tales from 22 languages selected and edited by A.K. Ramanujan. The next book would be Tales from Shakespeare by Charles and Mary Lamb. If you go and read these books, you can enjoy many stories. Now you will be able to explain the main theme of the story, that is, the importance of avoiding foolish people and dealing with them wisely. Describe the characters and their actions in the story. Recognize the cultural significance of the story as a famous Kannada folk tale adapted from A.K. Ramanujan's Folk Tales from India. Summarize the plot of the story in your own words. State the moral lesson conveyed by the story, that is, to use wisdom when dealing with foolish people. Express your personal opinion on the story and the characters. Analyze the impact of the story on your thinking and behavior. Children, this was the end of the lesson In the Kingdom of Fools. Hope you have enjoyed my class. See you all in the next class.